Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, has been released from Delhi's Tihar jail hours after the Supreme Court granted him interim bail till the 1st of June. The Chief Minister, arrested in March in the alleged liquor policy scam, can campaign for his Aam Aadmi Party in the 2024 Lok Sabha election. Mr. Kejriwal cannot refer to the case that he faces in connection with the liquor scam while he is out, but he can campaign, as I mentioned. Significantly, the court said that he was not a threat to society and that a liberal view was needed in the backdrop of the Lok Sabha polls. Moments after stepping out, Mr. Kejriwal spoke to party workers and immediately hit out at the government. The political implications of his release are likely to be major.
आज आपके बीच में आके बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। मैंने कहा था ना मैं जल्दी आऊंगा। मैंने कहा था ना जल्दी आऊंगा। आ गया। मैं सब लोगों को शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ। देश भर के करोड़ों करोड़ों लोगों ने अपनी दुआएं अपना आशीर्वाद मुझे भेजा। मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजेस का शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ, जिनकी वजह से आज मैं आप लोगों के बीच में हूँ। आप लोगों से एक ही निवेदन है, हमें सबको मिलके देश को तानाशाही से बचाना है।
Well, joining me now, my colleagues Mohammad Ghazali and Vedant Agarwal. Ghazali, firstly, you were at Tihar jail. Could you describe to us some of the scenes when Arvind Kejriwal came out?
See, all the political leaders had gathered here. Even Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann, Saurabh Bhardwaj, Atishi and other leaders from the AAP's Delhi unit had arrived here, ministers in the cabinet. And this entire stretch of the road right now where I'm standing outside gate number 3 of Tihar prison, it was all blocked. Then Arvind Kejriwal came from another gate, that is gate number 4, and then he took a detour and came on this street and addressed the gathering and supporters and thanked the judges, thanked his supporters as well, that due to whom he was out of the jail, and also asked his supporters to come and support him tomorrow when he will be going to Hanuman Mandir, and after that a press briefing. So kind of a political speech, a political campaign started right after he met that exit from the jail, asking supporters that this is the election to save democracy, and thanked the Supreme Court judges for bringing him out on interim bail.
Vedant, you're outside Arvind Kejriwal's house. What happens next for him? Is he going to be campaigning in Delhi? Is there an expectation of leaders of the India Alliance coming together, campaigning together?
The campaign has already begun with that political speech of Arvind Kejriwal's outside Tihar. But let me first show you visuals here. There are dhols outside the Chief Minister's residence. You have, flowers and the entire residence being decked up ahead of the Chief Minister's arrival here.
All right, apologies, we've lost that line with Ghazali, but we'll try and come back to that in a moment. Let's go straight across to our guests who join us at this stage. Shadan Farasat, advocate in the Supreme Court. Aryama Sundaram, senior advocate of the Supreme Court, also with us. Also, Amit Tiwari, spokesperson of the Delhi BJP. Let me go straight across to Mr. Tiwari first. Sir, how do you react to the developments today in the Supreme Court and Arvind Kejriwal walking out of the Supreme Court on interim bail? Do you believe this might have a major impact politically on the NDA?
No, this will not have any impact. The reason is this. In 2014 also, Mr. Kejriwal was not in custody. He campaigned. In 2019 also, he campaigned throughout Delhi, not only Delhi, but surrounding areas also. But BJP won all 7 seats of Delhi. So we don't see it as if there is much impact which is going to be there. But certainly, I want to expose their character. That please see that what the order says. The order says that the Kejriwal has challenged challenge the legality or illegality of the very arrest. Therefore, since we have not been able to decide it, keeping in view the circumstances that in every 5 years there are elections and more than 90 crore people are going to cast their votes. Therefore, under these circumstances, we are only releasing him so that because he's a political person. Now, a narrative is sought to be created by Aam Aadmi Party by saying that the court has saved the democracy, the constitution, and Kejriwal is innocent. if that narrative which they are trying to set up is to be believed, then the same court, the Honorable Supreme Court, rejected the bail application of Mr. Manish Sisodia, holding out that yes, liquor scam is prima facie established, money trail to the extent of rupees 337 crore is prima facie and tentatively established. Does that mean that Mr. Manish Sisodia
But
is
Amit, at the
convict?
same
Does that
time,
mean that Mr. Sorry?
at the same time, the Supreme Court did allude to the fact that it's been 1.5 years since the FIR was filed, and that it's
Yes.
taken a time. Why couldn't he have been arrested earlier on? That's certainly a factor
let me
that went
respond
into
to
into the order.
Let me respond to that as well, because I have also heard from the media and the responses that ED submitted before the Honorable Court. The first is the ED said that we did not have any material initially, therefore our line of questioning was not in that line. But subsequently, when we got statements of Mr. C. Arvind and other people, then obviously we started investigating his role also, and therefore his role came. Now, second point, why 1.5 years? Initially, the investigation was in a different manner. Now it has been in the line of the Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Secondly, the first summons to him was issued in the month of October 2023. Then he did not go. He repeatedly avoided 9 summons, created a situation, and thereafter went to the Honorable High Court saying that please protect me, there will be an illegal arrest. The summons are illegal. The High Court rejected the submission, and thereafter he was arrested. So it's not that the ED or out of some political vendetta, he is being arrested just before the election. If he would have joined the investigation way back in October 2023, I believe that the things would have been certainly different. Okay. And secondly,
okay, one second, Amit. I'm also joined by Shraddhan Farasat, the senior Supreme Court lawyer who's been involved in this case. I found one statement by Justice Khanna important when he said that he is likely to pass an order soon, that he will continue hearings next week and he might pass an order thereafter. Is this, in your sense, a case which is moving quite fast, Shraddhan?
Yes, so at the Supreme Court level, I think it's been moving quite fast. Right from the day one, there has been an indication from the court that they want to hear it. And because the issues raised were relating to the legality of arrest itself and Section 19 of the Act, and there are aspects which need to be considered by the court in terms of legal aspects, which are possibly arising also for the first time, given the nature of the case. Therefore, the court was of the view that the hearings will take time, and rightly so, and we also agree with the court. And therefore, interim release is the necessity, given that the arrest has happened during the election process.
Shraddhan, I'm just trying to understand, we have Amit Tiwari of the BJP with us as well, and he makes the point that it isn't correct to necessarily say that the arrest has been delayed because, Kejriwal may not have been in the center of suspicion earlier on, and that even when he was, he never turned up for questioning. What is how has the court looked at this argument?
See, we have placed our argument quite clearly before the court. Now, the main matter is still pending before the court. We have quite clearly stated that all the material that was available with the Enforcement Directorate was available as early as mid of last year. Therefore, even if we take October 2023, that's also very belated. So October 2023 is no great argument, but be that as it may, the court has passed an interim order as of today. I would not want to, because I'm a lawyer in the matter, I would not want to comment any more on that. And we have already placed all responses to whatever is available in the public domain, which people are stating. As for the court to take a call on that.
So, Shraddhan, just as a matter of fact, the court will now be taking a final call on the legality of his arrest, right? And that hearing continues.
That is correct. So basically, the main ground raised by us is that Section 19 requires a prima facie view based on the material available that the person is guilty of money laundering. And according to us, nothing there which ED has produced, even taking the case at its highest, does that. And that's the material based on which the court will take a final call whether the arrest was legal or illegal.
All right. Thanks very much, for sharing time and explaining that. Aryama Sundaram also joins us. Thanks very much for being with us. So it's interim bail. He has to be back in Tihar on the 2nd of June. But as far as interim bail is concerned, how rare is that? And the reason which has been given is that one of the reasons the court looked at was that it gives him a chance to campaign. Is that a fair reason for a person to be granted interim bail?
Well, I believe interim bail is always an exception. It's never a rule. But at the same time, it's never ruled out. In fact, it's very interesting that in giving their judgment, the bench relied and referred to a judgment of Justice Sanjeev Khanna when he was in the Delhi High Court. And in fact, noticed that interim bail is given when either regular bail can't be given or there are pending matters where the bail application itself is pending. So the very concept of interim bail is it is given when at that date you are not ready to give in regular bail. Ergo, it is an exception. It is certainly an exception. It's not a rule. But at the same time, it is an exception with precedent. So what has happened today was not unprecedented. It's something with precedent. You were also asking me about the reason for granting bail to enable him to stand for elections. In fact, that is found to be a very serious reason why this bail application, interim bail, should be considered and granted. And the reason is this. The bench has found that democracy, of course, goes to the root of the Indian Constitution. It's a basic feature of our Constitution. The court goes on to say that when a national party leader is faced with a general election where the Lok Sabha is going to be voted for, it is a matter which affects the country at large. This is the effect of the judgment. I'm not quoting from the judgment. The effect of the judgment. And while so, the leader of such a national party being enabled to participate in the election campaign is an important step in the march of democracy itself, especially when it's such an important election of the Lok Sabha being voted for. So therefore, and which happens once in 5 years. So therefore, the court has found that to be a good enough reason to make out an exception for the grant of interim bail. Of course, with a lot of riders as to what he can do and cannot do when he is being granted, when he is out on interim bail.
I wanted to go back to Amit Tiwari for a moment. Amit, if I can just go across to Amit Tiwari. Amit, politically, how there was one important observation which was made by the court when the court said that Arvind Kejriwal doesn't pose a risk. They seem to suggest that he's not a repeat offender, and therefore that was also one of the grounds on which he was released. And also what you heard from Arima Sundaram over there, where he said that he is a chief minister, it is an important time, and it's not just his family that is looking out for this case, there are other people as well. So 2 points there, how would you respond?
No, see, whenever any bail application is considered, always these points are taken into consideration. Obviously, the pre-conviction arrest is always to secure the presence of the accused. So whenever bail is to be considered, these are always considered whether he is at flight risk or not. So far as that issue is concerned, nobody has ever alleged that he will run away or he will abscond from the country. That's not a point. So in all bail applications, whether interim, whether final regular bail applications, you will see the orders, you will find all those kind of conditions. But the point is, look at the manner and the conduct of the person, and it's his party. There is no doubt today, we respect the judgment of the court, that the court believes that yes, the democracy, which is at much higher level, is to be placed or is of paramount consideration than the liberty of one individual or one particular case. We respect that judgment. But so far as the conduct of the party is concerned, look at the manner, look at the visuals, as if some freedom fighter has come, as if this is for the first time in the country, we have witnessed that the person is being celebrated because there are allegations of corruption. So and look at the conduct of the Congress. The Congress believes and Congress is equally celebrating the victory as if there is some kind of victory. And the Congress is the only party which was leveling allegations for this liquor scam against the Aam Aadmi Party. So this all exposes, I am speaking politically, that this all exposes these kind of conducts, expose the character of the person in the minds and the eyes of the people at large. And people at large will definitely decide and will cast their vote in favor of BJP.
Something else which the court said, which is actually important because I'm going through parts of the judgment here. They said that, and these weren't the exact words, but a liberal view is needed in the Lok Sabha election backdrop, and that he's not a threat to society. Again, how would you respond to that?
Yes, definitely. I have also seen that is recorded in paragraph number 15, where the court said that no doubt he avoided 9 summons. No doubt there are serious allegations of corruption. But since we have not been able to decide the application of the challenging the very legality of the arrest, therefore, keeping in view the democracy, keeping in view that the elections are held in every 5 years, therefore, we are taking this liberal view. Now, the liberal view of the court is being manipulated and is sought to be projected in the public domain as if Mr. Kejriwal is held or there is a judgment giving innocence to Mr. Kejriwal. That's not the case. That's the conduct that I'm trying to expose.
All right, Amit Tiwari, thanks very much for joining us, explaining that BJP standpoint on this important development.